Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about Rudy Giuliani in talks with the DOJ and Jack Smith. This is a pretty big story, it seems to me, and at least in the first news cycle, the media and cable stations haven't really gotten it straight. So the report is that Giuliani, with his lawyer and essential fact, Robert Costello, went in and has been very recently talking with the prosecutors. That might sound like, prosecutors have called him in. Pretty please, can we ask you some questions? Because Giuliani makes clear this is a voluntary meeting on his part. And as a good citizen, he comes in. How can I help? Oh, of course, I want to incriminate myself. You know already that, he's taken the fifth in various junctures. That's not what's going on. Here's what's going on. He has come in with his lawyer, and the lawyer probably proffers the information. Here is what my client could say and could provide you for your prosecution. Or perhaps it is Giuliani, words out of his mouth and follow-up questions, and he answers them. But under a special arrangement, colloquially referred to as Queen for a Day, from a old TV show, where Giuliani can spill his guts, but it's a proffer. And the department and prosecutors can't use it, but except to evaluate his utility as a witness. Why in the world would Giuliani do that? And it's pretty clear. So on top of everything else, this is a very strong indication that Smith, who has been working the false electors angle, has moved from the electors to the inner circle of Trump lawyers who were so instrumental in trying to perpetrate the scheme. Not that he's indicted them, but just that Giuliani realizes this is where the case is, and I'm potentially screwed. So having had all this bravado and kind of crazy behavior, he realizes he better go in, and he is selling, not buying. He's there to say, I want immunity, or perhaps I want to plead to a very small crime and not go to prison. And why would the U.S. make that deal? Because of the information he can provide. And what information can he provide, and against whom can he provide it? I think at this point, dear listeners, I don't even have to answer that. So this is a very dangerous development for the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. So, and let me put in a little broader context. So the main thing that Giuliani does in the false elector scheme, he goes down in particular to Georgia and just lays on lie after lie, totally thick. Remember, he defames the two election workers, Ruby Shea and Moss Freeman, who have now sued him for defamation. And he just sits with the legislature and tells them we've got 70,000 or whatever people under 18 voting. It seems like the true number of that is 0, and just does all kinds of horse shit. And he's with, by the way, and here these guys are also now in the thick of it, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, Mark Meadows is down there. So the notion is, and this is of a piece we learned also, that Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, who had the presence of mind to tape his hour-long call with Trump, where Trump is trying to shake him loose for 11,780 votes. Smith has now moved from individual electors to what would be a broader scheme, probably a conspiracy to try to, in effect, steal the election. Now, it's not the whole sprawling January 6th insurrection itself, fomenting violence at the plaza. It's this basically false electors piece, which was connected to the effort to get Pence to do a phony baloney announcement that these are the actual electors. So in that sense, it's not totally this little discrete chunk, but that's, I think, more or less what it is. And as you trace the little, radar beeps coming out of the grand jury, you find that he is really focused on the false electors. We had these two guys from Nevada who've gotten immunity. One seems to have spoken personally with Donald Trump. We have Raffensperger testifying. We have the head of the elections. Well, we have the deputy chief of the elections committee coming in with some kind of deal, I think, prompting the head to come in the next day and do what I'm suggesting Giuliani is doing. Pretty please, cut me a deal. I can see that, the sword is about to, the guillotine is about to come down. So this is, a game of dominoes that prosecutors love to play. The people who are, in a circle very close to the former president are now seeing that they've got to scurry like, rats on a ship and try to arrange a deal. And it's quite clear that the best deals go to the first comers. So I don't know what Jenna Ellis and her lawyer, Sidney Powell and her lawyer, Mark Meadows and his lawyer, George Terwilliger, exactly are doing. Of course, we know Meadows testified, and I think likewise it would have been, with some kind of deal and arrangement. But this is now Rudy Giuliani. Now, he's a terrible witness in a way. I think he actually may be. I say this with no joy or schoolyard part, but I think he's kind of addled and is not reliable. Still, he wants to give it up. I think that means, I'm not going to jail for Donald Trump, and wants to try to sell the DOJ on giving him a good deal. That's my read. I'll give a big caveat. This is like tons more than anyone's saying on TV now. I stand behind it. Insert going backwards the appropriate, pretty certain, looks likely, etc. We're reading tea leaves from where we get a little bit, and there's a mountain of tea leaves that we're not seeing. There are scenarios where what I'm saying could be inaccurate, but when you hear proffer, you hear his lawyer going in, and you see what else Smith has been doing of late and where he is. This is the natural supposition. So so at least you have my natural supposition. We'll know in coming weeks whether it pans out. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.